You're listening to Music Tectonics.
Welcome back to Music Tectonics. We are still excited. Tristra, are we excited?
We are still way excited. It's crazy.
We've got a buzz from the Music Tectonics Conference that was just a few weeks ago, and we're not going to do endless episodes about it, but we are going to do another one here because, Tristra, you brought the mic out at Music Tectonics.
Yes, it was really, really fun. I cornered people during our closing reception and asked them what they learned, what they were thinking, what they had on their minds, what they were most excited about. And I'm really excited to share with everyone who was there or maybe didn't get a chance to attend this year. But yeah, I hope you get to a little bit of the vibe of what was going on there.
That's the voice of Tristra Newyear Yeager.
Oh yeah, I forgot to introduce myself. That's me. Yeah. Hi.
She's the director of strategy at Rock, Paper, Scissors and also my collaborator on this podcast. I'm Dmitri, Vietze, the CEO and founder of Rock, Paper, Scissors, the PR firm that specializes in music tech, and the crew that puts together the Music Tectonics Conference, which was in Santa Monica, October 25th through 27th at various venues. Hey, I haven't got a chance to talk to you about the opening keynote by Mahan Zanussi. I talked about it on the last episode, but I'm curious what your takeaways were.
Well, I think Mahan raised in a very, very funny way. I mean, I have never laughed so hard at a keynote, and I wasn't laughed at the content of a keynote. just to
He's
set
a
the
funny
record
guy.
straight.
He's
very, very, very funny. But one point that he made that I thought was extremely valuable was that we really need to stop thinking about music in terms of distribution methods. So the legacy model is really based on distribution on what he called the pipes of getting music into different places and selling it there or selling other things using music there. And he's he was provoking us all to think about it a little differently and to completely reset our orientation towards a very different role for music. And I really love that because, as someone who's been obsessed with music from a very young age, I really felt what he was saying. So did Jordan Bradley of High Note, and we're going to hear his thoughts on that right now. What was the most exciting thing that you learned? It could be small, it could be big, anything.
I've really enjoyed the focus on the thematic focus on where the industry is going and how the conference sort of opened. Like the opening keynote was about establishing kind of a way to think about the future and what those themes are going to be. And so participation with music, audience participatory experiences, things like that. So I appreciate that sort of set the tone for the talks to come and like that the conference had a perspective, perhaps, or rather led to believe that the conference had a perspective on what the future of music should look like and what the future of music technology should look like and how they wanted participants to the lens through which they wanted participants in the conference to think and explore and have conversations with each other.
I love it. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
That was cool. Jordan was awesome. It was so fun to meet so many folks in person. I had not actually even talked to Jordan before, but really interested in what High Note's doing. So glad you got a chance to talk to him. I mean, that's what's so cool about Music Tectonics is all these people who we may hear about or even people we haven't heard about that are kind of coming out from all over, not only America, but the whole world are kind of converging in this one place. And it's super cool to hear about all the startups. And we actually had people as far away as South Korea, Norway, India, of course, the UK, lots of folks from all over the place, which was super cool.
And it was really great to hear from people that were coming from all sorts of places. I mean, some just from the Bay Area, but some from Norway and some from as far away as South America, South Korea, just to hear how they felt there. And the awesome thing was everybody felt super at home and everyone found something that made them think. So now we're going to talk a little bit to Matteo Ghini, Sixmar Diaz, and Andrew Stess and hear what they felt when they were running around Music Tectonics.
Hi, my name is Matteo. I'm the CTO of Prescat, a live event management software from Norway. Yeah.
And what was the most interesting thing that you heard, learned, thought about here today at Music Tectonics?
I find the talk they had on live event tools, I found that to be very interesting, seeing how the US market and the European market is much more alike than I would have expected.
Oh, that's cool. What what were the similarities that surprised you?
Their absolute lack of software. Yes. How spreadsheets and analog means still kind of, that's the name of the game. And how, even though, you always envision, at least everyone outside of the US, envision you're like this behemoth in front of us just solving everything better than we do.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden it turns out, no, it's basically the same. Yeah.
Jose, if you're looking for solutions, America may not be your first stop, depending on what you're looking for.
But for customers, it's very nice.
Yes. Awesome. Thanks so much, Matteo.
Always.
My name is Sixmar Diaz, and I'm the marketing director for Lyric Find.
And what was the most interesting thing you heard or learned or thought about today?
Well, this is my first Music Tectonics, and I loved it. I have attended other events, and this is kind of a family. There is kind of a culture. Everybody's so welcoming and so eager to learn and see new things. And I was really inspired by the atmosphere.
Wonderful. Thank you so much.
I'm Andrew Stess from Stessco Consulting, and I'm here with Tune Global and Music Story, and I love this conference because it brings everybody together. I see everybody that I already know, people I want to know, and people that I can help companies grow with, and for me it's just a fun event that brings everybody together.
One of the things that I love about some of the things you captured was hearing what people actually picked up while they were there. Because obviously, I mentioned we're excited to have people come out of all crevices, all corners of the country and the world, but also to hear the ideas that people came across.
Yeah, there was a lot on offer, and I personally felt overwhelmed by just the sheer volume of everything that was there. But I love how people really homed in on certain elements and ideas. And now we're going to hear from a few more people and what they took away. We've got Dani Deahl, Fred McIntyre, Kristen Juel, Ethan Clift, and Juan Torres. We're going to hear their experiences at Music Tectonics.
My name is Dani Deahl. I am the head of communications and creator insights at BandLab. I'm also a producer, I'm a DJ, and I am the president of the Chicago chapter for the Recording Academy. So that's a lot of words.
Awesome. And who are you?
I'm Fred McIntyre. I'm an advisor to a whole bunch of startups and venture funds, one of which is BandLab.
Yeah, awesome.
And and I was a judge in one of the earlier rounds of the startup pitch contest.
So what was the most interesting thing you heard, learned, or thought today? Here, who wants to go first? First victim.
I'm going to not go for the low-hanging fruit and go for something that is completely outside of my field. I wound up stumbling into a panel that was about technology that can help the live music space. So venues, large tours, and I was really surprised to learn that the majority of settlements at the end of shows are determined by one of 4 primary Excel spreadsheets that have been created by random people across the country.
Nothing like Excel randos to like settle up your show tape.
I felt like a late night TV commercial where I thought there's got to be a better way.
Well, that means they're actually getting paid.
That's true.
And not like you drank it all.
Yeah, that I've heard that. Shows in New York.
Yeah.
So tell me, Fred, what was the most interesting thing you learned or thought about or encountered today?
So I like the gaming panel a lot, the one that Karen Allen moderated.
Yeah.
I thought that was good. I learned a lot from it, and
Awesome.
That's it.
All right, thank you so much.
I'm Kristen Juel. I'm with Juel Concepts, and I'm a contributor for Water and Music.
So tell me a bit about tell me about your favorite thing you saw, learned, heard, thought about today.
My favorite thing, I would say the AI stem removal that was happening with the Audioshake. Yeah, it was fascinating. I had so many questions, and I kept thinking, like, both good and bad. Where is this going? How could be good use, right? But also nefarious use.
There's probably a lot of evil uses that can be put to.
Yeah. So I saw the good and the bad, but that was really exciting. It was a really interesting conversation. It was obviously part of the Narwhal project, like the ending of all of this, where you get to vote. So I definitely felt very inspired there.
Awesome. Thank you. All right. So tell me who you are.
Juan Torres, Prism FM.
Awesome. So what was the one really cool thing you learned, heard, thought about, pondered at today's conference?
Ooh, that's a good question. Well, one of the things I came in to the conference for was to make new connections, figure out spaces near what we do in behind the scenes live tech to understand like where we can go in the future. And today, I feel like it's been 2 days of conferencing, but I have met people adjacent to tech that we do that when I go home, I'm going to think about how do we work with these people in the future? What can we do? So yeah, it's been a lot.
I'm probably dating myself with this, but I just imagine Voltron, like you're instead of a music, a live music tech sort of Voltron that would create this giant mech. Yeah,
that's how I think about it as well. So yeah.
I'm Ethan Clift. I'm the CEO and co-founder of Tonic Audio.
So, and what was what was one thing that you saw, learned, thought about, pondered?
Yeah, so I love this panel. There was a panel about sexy A&R data, and I loved it because I learned so much because I came from another industry. So for me, like I don't know a lot of like how the black box of the music industry works, and so hearing it like straight from A&R folks at like big labels was so helpful, and it gave me some ideas, some insights in how we can change our product to actually help labels.
That's amazing.
Yeah,
that's awesome. Thank you. Oh, one more thing, Dmitri, we talked to Bass Note before the conference and they hadn't launched yet, as far as I recall. So I really wanted to talk to Mike of Bass Note and hear what the launch was like, where they were. And he tells an amazing, funny story as well as gives us a quick update. So check this out.
Mike Cieslak, one of the co-founders of Bass Note.
Cool. So we talked to Bass Note a bit before you guys launched, and I'm curious how things are evolving, what the launch was like what's going on in your world.
Yeah, so during the launch, we definitely found, I would say, some of our most favorite unexpected hiccups in doing things. So
best bugs ever.
Yeah, not necessarily bugs, but it's just one of those things where you always say like expect the unexpected.
Yeah.
Or nothing's going to go according to plan when you launch. So we had some very fun challenges with legal paperwork in terms of setting up LLCs, making sure that we get everything approved. Because again, we're doing this through the Reg CF carve-out. Yeah. And so it's really important to us that we meet those regulations. We think it's very important for both the artist and the investor side. It builds a lot of trust in both sides, and I think really is structured in a way where it's going to help people have confidence in what we're doing. That doesn't mean it's always the easiest thing to get through. So, for instance, one of our artists, they have the name Bank. In his name is the name Bank. So when we filed some of the legal paperwork, we were set back quite a bit because the state of Delaware came back to us and said, it looks like you're trying to create a bank. Can you please file additional paperwork to clarify that you are a bank and you need to do X, Y, and Z? And we're like, no, we promise this person is not actually, in fact, a bank.
That's amazing.
So we did a few things quite like there, but that one's super entertaining, for instance. So I think for launch, we were really prepared on making sure everybody was there, up and running, and their offering was up. And then this week we basically started kicking off all of the big marketing pushes to drive people to the app and drive investments through.
Awesome. Well, thanks so much for the update and for the amazingly hilarious story. It's very rare when you talk about filing paperwork in Delaware and you get a laugh out loud anecdote like that. So it's truly a gem.
In my entire career, this has been my favorite unknown that's popped up and been like, okay, all right.
Artists, beware if you're trying to get the regulatory stuff, and just make sure that it's clear that you're just named bank and you aren't actually a bank. Anyway, all right. Awesome. Thanks so much.
Oh, that's so cool to hear about everything they're up to. Mike did a great job on a panel at the conference as well. You know what else was super cool was the Swimming with Narwhals Music Tech startup competition that we had. This is our third year in a row doing this conference. It started online, so this is the first one that we actually did the final in person, which was super cool. So we did a call, and keep an eye out, startups. Keep an eye out for next year. Probably late summer or so, we'll announce the next competition. But we did an international call for startups, and we had judges outside of our organization help us vet the top 10. We had semifinalists. We did the semifinal online. Again, we have judges who are investors and strategic partners that were helping us make those decisions. And this year, we had the following 4 finalists that pitched in person: Audioshake, which uses AI to open up songs to new monetization and creative possibilities by separating songs into their stems and instrumentals, which you'll hear about more in a minute. Opener, Dre Wallace, has a cloud-based double-sided marketplace platform that uses data to connect musicians with concert organizers, offering opener performance opportunities. Toonie, presented by Anthony Demikin, is an adaptive music engine and creator tool, making it easy for creators to soundtrack their videos. And finally, Victors. Mark Bamford was everywhere at the conference. His company takes video content to the next level by capturing audience engagement within the videos.
And I have to say, the live pitches were so impressive. I mean, the judges really had a hard, I would have had a hard time as a judge. I mean, judging which of these was most worthy. There were some great questions that the judges asked. They were super respectful, but very incisive. And the finalists all answered them with a great deal of thoughtfulness and aplomb. And I mean, all these companies were great, and all these founders were super impressive, as well as just being awesome people. So it was a cool experience to see them do this live.
And you may have seen that the winner was Jessica Powell with Audioshake.
Yay!
And you got to talk to her right after.
I did. I kind of ambushed her, and she was feeling a bit overwhelmed with all the excitement. But here's what Jessica had to say after her big win. So I'm here with Jessica Powell of Audioshake, who just won both the Audience Choice Award and the Jury Award in the Swimming with Narwhals competition. Congratulations, I can't talk. Congratulations, Jessica. How are you feeling right this minute?
Oh, we're really excited. And we now have adopted a narwhal, apparently.
Yeah, you have your own narwhal.
Yeah, it's pretty unique in all of the...
Amazing. What was the most interesting or challenging part of being part of the competition? Was there, you've done this a lot, you're like an ace at this, and your pitch was amazing, but were there any moments where you thought about something a little differently, or have you, that you put something new or tried something out that you hadn't tried before?
Well, I mean, I hate public speaking, so it doesn't really matter how many times I do it. I think it's always just like this terrifying thing. But I think the challenge when you're working on something in kind of deep tech is that no matter the audience, you have to figure out the way to explain it in a way that's accessible. And so particularly for us, where we work on something called stems, which even within the music industry, not everyone knows what those are, trying to figure out how you actually explain that and what the problem is and how you're solving it, whether you're talking to tech investors or to music people, it's always sort of a different challenge of what you're trying to say.
I have to say, I really admired in your pitch how you painted the picture of the use cases so well. I've heard other people talk about stems, and that was like a really, really smart and really cool thing to do. It was really easy to get excited about stems, the way you frame them with the use cases. So I thought that was amazing.
Thanks.
All right, thanks so much, and congratulations once again.
Yeah, thank you.
So we did that winner announcement at our final day of the conference. That was at Expert Dojo. We actually changed the name to Music Tech Dojo. That was our venue where we just let people kind of do post-conference schmoozing. We also had Tatiana Cirasano and Chris Takar doing a keynote there out in the sun as we listened to street performers.
Yeah, it was kind of amazing because a guy was shredding like nobody's business, like full-on 80s metal hairband style. And but the media folks just kept on doing their own jam. So it was really a beautiful morning.
Yeah. And, something else to note about our startup competition, the Narwhal competition this year was, and this is totally coincidental, but
absolutely
kind
random.
of a super thing. All of our winners so far for the first 3 years of the contest have all been women.
Well, I hope that this speaks to a rising tide of women getting involved in music tech. I don't think, it was a coincidence that those were the winners, and we had nothing to do with who was chosen, but I don't think it's a coincidence, or I hope that it's not a coincidence, and that we see more and more men and women working together, or women leading companies to more advanced stages of startup innovation and that kind of good stuff. So it's really heartwarming to see, and I think it really reflects the Music Tectonics spirit that all are welcome. Everybody with a good idea, we want to hear from you, and you're part of our community.
And if you missed Music Tectonics Conference this year, don't miss next year. We're already starting some plans. We've got some crazy ideas. We love to mix it up. Shaylee, our conference planner, Eleanor, our marketing director, and kind of like our executive producer for this podcast,
absolutely,
are already scheming up ideas with us. It's going to be great. It's going to be in late October, we think. We're still searching for the perfect Crazy Pants venue once again. But if you are not already signed up to our newsletter, you really should do that. Our mailing list for Music Tectonics. Go to musictectonics.com/mailing-list. That's musictectonics.com/mailing-list. That way you can find out not only about our in-person conference that we do every year, but we do a lot of online events during the year as well, using Hopin, Zoom. Some are small group conversations, some are big presentations. We do our famous chat roulette style speed networking, and also meetups. We're starting to think about, what are we doing at South by Southwest? What are we doing at NAMM?
Definitely doing something at both of those events. So if you're thinking about attending, get on our newsletter so you can make sure to meet us there.
Tristra, thanks so much for joining not only the podcast, but adding that crazy pants Tristra spirit to the conference as well.
Oh, thanks. It was a blast.
Thanks for listening to Music Tectonics. If you like what you hear, please subscribe on your favorite podcast app. We have new episodes for you every week. Did you know you can dig deeper into all our episodes with the show notes at musictectonics.com? While you're there, look for the latest about our annual conference, sign up for our newsletter to get updates, or get the Music Tectonics app for music tech news. Everything we do explores seismic shifts that shake up music and technology the way the Earth's tectonic plates cause quakes and make mountains. Connect with Music Tectonics on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook, and find me, Dmitri Vietze, if you can spell it, on LinkedIn. Bye-bye.
You're listening to Music Tectonics.